Hello, our most developed student. My name is Confident and welcome to the continuation of the lesson where I'm looking at algebraic expressions, and we have already done the first part of this lesson, but in this lesson we're continuing looking here at division of polynomials. So if you didn't watch the first lesson where I lay an important foundation, it's very important for you to do so. But let's look at this division of polynomials. What is it talking about? In here we are looking at an example to say x squared plus 7x plus 12 divided by x. Now let me just remind you, if you are given a plus b plus c and then you divide by d, you must always know that the d, you can write it as a over d plus b over d plus what? C over d. You are right, plus c over d. That's the concept. Alright, so in this case, if I give you x squared, following the same concept, like 7x plus 12 over x, what do you think it will become? Yes, it will be x squared over what? Over x. That's how you divide it. The x is affecting each and every term on top. So look at it, 7x over x plus 12 over x. That's what it means. But it doesn't end there. You continue now. Remember, x squared is same as saying x times dot means x. It means multiplication. Remember, x times x over x. And then plus, now, I don't know why I said 7 here. Sorry about that. It's x. Now, this is 7 times x over x. And then the other one is plus 12 over x. Alright, we can leave it like that. Now, look at this now. When you're simplifying this further, you are allowed now to cancel out the first x there, which is equal to what is remaining. Remember, at the bottom is 1 and this 1, so it's 1x, which is x, plus, again, you cancel that x, 1 and 1 remain, only 7 there, and then plus 12 over x. You can't do anything to this one. It will remain as divided by x, because why? There is nothing you can cancel it out with. That's what you mean when you're dividing by that. Does it make sense? I hope so. Now let's look at the next one here. Just to use the same concept I did above, we are given in here, it's 9a squared b, now minus 18ab squared over, it's negative 3ab, right? Equal to, now pay attention, this, you're using the same concept I used above, a, b, c over d. Look, the 9a squared b, then you've got minus 18a b squared. You see, it means each one of these is divided by what? Negative 3ab. Even the other one is negative 3ab. The sign separating them is what? Is minus. That's what it means. But you can go on here and understand what is this 9a squared b. It means it's 9, but a squared is times a times a. Remember, a squared. This particular square belongs to a. Don't forget, not to b. b is simple, the only b in the first one. Then you divide by negative 3ab. Then you have minus 18. Now a, look at the b squared. Don't be tempted here. Let me just put this a little bit on top. Don't be tempted here. The squared belongs only to b. Okay, so it means in this case it's dot or times b times b. So you see, in the first one it was the a, in the second one is actually the b. So just remember that part. Alright, then here you divide by the same bracket, the same fraction, 3ab. You are allowed then to cross out what needs to be crossed out. In this case, look at the number first. You can take a calculator to assist you. Look at the numbers. What are you dividing? You are going to use a calculator to find this. 9 divided by minus 3, so that it's easier for you to apply. So you're going to say fraction 9 over minus 3. Don't forget the negative sign. Look what the answer is giving you. The same thing, what we are going to do is we are also going to divide now. But look at this. What is interesting is it's minus 18. See, minus 18 divided by minus 3. So I'm going to say minus 18 over minus 3. Do you see those two negatives? So don't ignore those two negatives. Equal to, this time it gives me a positive 6. Did you see that? So in the first one, it gave me a negative 3, right? I'll put the other variables. The other one, it gave me a positive 6. But let's do the rest. In here, I must cancel out the A, the bottom A, and the top A. Remember, when you cancel, you get a 1. Even B, cancel with the B on top, you get a 1. So what is remaining here, you see, it's A. So it's minus 3A. Are you seeing that? That's all that is remaining. Let me then bring this closer. Plus, do the same thing. Remember, we cancelled that. We said the 3 and the 18 gave us 6 there. Then the A cancels the A to give us 1 and 1. The B cancels the B. When you cancel, you get 1. So look what is remaining. It's B. So it's 6B. That's the end. Don't force it. Why? The letter here is A. The letter there is B, meaning different things. If A stands for apples and B stands for bananas, you can't say minus 3A plus 6 bananas. Then you're like, you can't add an apple and a banana. It will remain as an apple and a banana. So just leave it like that. In this case, A can represent anything. It doesn't have to be an apple and a banana. A can represent cows even. You can say, let my A represent laptops. Let my A represent calculators. So, and then my B can represent maybe a ruler. To add minus 3 calculators plus 6 rulers. Though it doesn't make sense to say minus 3 calculators. But I'm trying to say, don't add things that are not related. So the final answer is simple. Minus 3A plus 6B. Alright, so that's how we started our lesson. Then let's come to what the main lesson is going to be about in your second term. It is going to be about you working out this, which is what? Which is the multiplication of polynomials. That is what they are going to be checking you out on. The multiplication of polynomials is the main reason that will make you or break you in this particular term. Look at this. 1.5, it says simplify the following, and they gave me that. Now what do you see when they say 3 bracket x plus 2? That bracket means you must multiply. So what we do is we do this thing to say, take the 3, it must multiply that x, and then again we take our 3, it must multiply the 2. See, so that bracket, it means everything inside must be multiplied. Bracket means multiplication, so everything inside must be multiplied by 3. So what we are saying is, we are saying 3 times x, and then always put a positive after that. Always put a positive, and then you're saying 3 times 2. So what is 3 times x? It's 3x. Then plus 3 times 2, take a calculator, it's 6. So the answer you're going to get here is 3x plus 6. That's it. That's how you simple do that. And then you mustn't just, don't just get yourself confused. What about the next one? Negative, and then it's x plus 2. This one also, it means when you don't see anything, it means there is a hidden 1 there. So it's like minus 1 is the one multiplying that, and it is the one multiplying that. Don't forget, bracket means multiplication. So you've got minus 1 times x, then always say plus. Always put a plus, and then you've got plus minus 1 times 2. You can always put that to protect the plus and minus. So you say minus 1 times x is simple minus 1x, right? Minus 1 times 2, take a calculator. You can use the both signs. Look at this. It's fine for me to say here plus bracket minus 1 times 2. It's correct. equal to, it will give me the answer negative 2. So it's minus 2. So the answer is minus 1x minus 2. But some, they prefer not to include that 1. So you can write as minus x minus 2. It's still correct because we know there is always a hidden 1 there. Alright. But sometimes just a simple one, not but, just a simple thing to know or to notice. If I give you minus and then I say x plus 2, the moment you see a negative, you must know that whatever is inside, the signs are going to interchange. What was the sign for x is positive. So it's simple, negative x, negative 2. 2 was positive, it becomes negative. Or example, let's do another one. If I say to you minus 5x minus 8. Now you just interchange. When negative enters inside, negative 5 becomes positive 5x, negative 8 becomes positive 8. You see that? That's how the negative does. It just interchange. You interchange the signs at whatever case. So if I give you a last one, if I say minus, and then I say 6 minus 8x, and then I say open up that bracket. What was the sign for 6? Don't forget 6 was positive, so it will become negative 6. What was the sign for 8? 8 is negative, it becomes positive 8x. That's what that negative does. Alright, so always remember that. Now let's move on. There is another one. It says here we need to simplify minus 3 bracket x minus 2. Again, don't forget the whole thing here is, don't say 3, but minus 3 is going to multiply the x, and it is going to multiply the negative 2. So what are you going to have? You are going to have minus 3 times x and plus. Don't forget, always put a plus. Then you're going to say minus 3 times minus 2. You can put brackets like this. It's still fine to separate the positive and negative. But even if you didn't put that, there is no one who's going to penalize you, you know. Then you're going to say minus 3 times x is simple minus 3x. That one, you don't have to worry. Now, you take a calculator, but what you need to know before using the calculator, you must know a negative here. See, negative, negative. When I'm multiplying, negative times negative, you must know it's a positive. That you must know. Then you look at the number 3 times 2. What is 3 times 2? It is equal to 6. So you say positive 6. You see that? So the answer is plus 6. That you must always try to do it first mentally, but of course the calculator is there to assist you. So let me use the calculator then just to verify my answer. As I said, is what? You can put a plus, still fine. Plus, but look at the negative I'm using. It's negative 3 times negative 2 because I'm multiplying them. See? It's equal to 6. What about if I used this minus? Let me see if it gives me the same answer. Sometimes I avoid using it because, well, it gives me the same answer. It's a 6. When you get 6, it means it's, don't just say 6, but know that the sign between it, because there was a sign here, it means it's also maintained as positive 6. So it's negative 3x plus 6. Are you with me, guys? Very important concept that you need to know. Let's continue here. There is another one. These examples, we're continuing expanding. Here it's what? It's 3x. And what do I have? I've got x plus 2. Same thing. You take 3x, it multiplies x. You take 3x, it multiplies 2. So you're going to say 3x times x plus, always put a plus, and then it's 3x times, dot means times what? 2. Don't get yourself confused. X times x. Now we are multiplying. See, there is how many x? There was 1 here and there is 1. You add them. Remember the laws of exponents? It says a to the power of x times a to the power of y. If I do that, a times, a here, you maintain your a, and then you say x plus y. So if I say x times x, the power is 1, so you look at xx, you're going to say x 1 plus 1, which is what? X squared. So it's a simple matter of adding those x, so it will be 3x squared, are you with me, plus, now 3x times 2, of course the x is the only one, but the 3 and the 2, you need to multiply them. 3 times 2 is 6, then you just have to say 6x. That is the final answer. You can't do anything further. 3x squared, remember this is a square and this is power 1. Don't go now and say 3 plus 6, you say 9x and then you say 9x to the power of 3. That is not allowed. That's suicidal of you. That is dangerous of you. Don't go extra. The final answer is done. What is the final answer? Is 3x squared plus 6x. Don't be tempted. I know there is that feeling to say, but it's not done. I need to do something extra. There is nothing, trust me. That's the final answer. Okay, so here what do you have? 3x squared plus 6x. Are you with me? Are you with me? Okay, let's move on to the next one. What do we have? The other one now, it says we are instead multiplying negative 3x squared, but now it's x plus 2. The same bracket was maintained intentionally, but look at this. Don't forget, when you're multiplying, it's everything outside the bracket, everything, which is that times x and that times 2. So here we are saying minus 3x squared times x plus, I always say take out the plus. Don't worry with anything about the signs. First of all, when you're multiplying to the next stage, put a plus. The plus here must always be there, and then you're going to say what? Minus 3x squared, now it's times what? Dot 2. Are you with me? Then you have to multiply those two x's. Now I told you what you do when you say x squared times x. How many x do you have? 2 plus 1 is 3. So it's minus 3x to the power of 3. Now you take a calculator if you're confused, but now you're multiplying minus 3x squared times 2. So it's these two numbers that you have to multiply. So take a calculator if the negative is might be a problem, and then you say negative 3 times 2. That's what you can multiply. It gives you what? Negative 6. Meaning this plus will disappear. Focus on what the calculator gave you. It's negative 6. But what? X squared. You see? Because it was there from the beginning. X squared. But here we couldn't say x squared because there was another x. Can you do anything further? No. It's done. This is a 3. This is a 2. You can't add things that are not like. These are unlike terms. Even if it's tempting you to do something further, don't. So the answer here is minus 3x cubed minus 6x squared. Alright, let's move on to the next one here. It wants you to multiply, what is it here? It's minus 3x cubed and then x squared minus what? Minus 2x. See this? Again, same thing. You just have to multiply this times this, which is negative 3x cubed times what? X squared. And then look at this. Plus. Always put a plus in the center. Plus. Don't worry with what is following, but put a plus. Then you write it as is with the sign negative 3x cubed times negative 2x. Which one is that? Is this one now. Is minus 3x cubed times minus 2x. Now you do the first one. Negative 3 is only negative 3 there. But look at it. X cubed, x squared. How many x when you're counting them? There are 3 multiplied by 2, so there will be 5. You add them. You don't multiply them. You say x, but you say 3 plus 2. You don't say 3 times 2. You say 3 plus 2. Remember exponents, which is 5. You don't say 3 times 2, please. Then you take a calculator. It will help you in the next case now. Focus on the numbers. Look at the numbers. Minus 3 minus 2. those numbers you must multiply them. The minus 3 times minus 2. Let's multiply that and see what does it give us with the calculator. So it's negative 3 times negative 2. See, it gives me a positive. Why? Negative times negative is positive. 3 times 2 is 6. That's where now you say plus. And then you focus again on the x's, x cubed and what? X squared. So here you have got x cubed. Forget about the signs now. Times x. Okay? 3 and here it's 1. 3 plus 1 is what? It's 4. So it's what? It's 6. Remember the 3 times 2 was 6. And then x, 3 plus 1, x to the power of 4. Are you getting that? So that was this negative 3x 5 plus 6x to the power of 4. That's how you go about expanding that. Are you with me? Let's look at the next one and then I will end it up here. Now, these include a few things like the fractions, which are very important. For example, 2 over 3x. Look at this now. 6x squared, okay, plus 9x, okay, plus 3. Remember, this one laying a foundation, but it's the same. Nothing changes. You take the whole fraction, everything there, it multiplies. Everything here, it multiplies. Now it goes 3 times. See? Because there are 3 of them. But don't forget you are multiplying. For example, it's 2 over 3x and then dot 6x squared. Are you seeing that? And then always put a plus. Always put a plus. Then it's 2 over 3x dot 9x. Always put a what? A plus. When you move to the next arrow, put a plus. It's 2 over 3x and then dot what? 3. As I say, it's good to use mental knowledge whereby how does it work about. This is how you work about. You take 2 over 3 times 6. It means you cancel that 3 into 6. You are saying 6 divided by 3, you get a 2, and then it's 2 times 2 here, it's 4. So here you to be 4, then you've got x and the x power 1. So x and x, they are multiplying. 2 plus 3, it to be 4x what? Cubed. But if you don't want to do that, you can focus or rely on the calculator. So what you do is you take the calculator and you say, okay, let me focus on the numbers. What are the numbers? 2 over 3. Then you put a bracket or you say times, multiplying by 6. There it is. It's 4. You see? So you write it 4, but x and x cubed. Remember 1. X and x squared. 1 plus 2. So it's x to the power of 3. Well, everything is positive, so there is no need to change the signs. Positives will remain positive. Do the same thing. 3 into 9, it's 3. 3 times 2, it's 6. But you can use a calculator for the numbers. You don't have to, even to avoid errors, it's always good to use a calculator. But I'm just showing you with or without the calculator, you can use it. 2 over 3 times 9, you get what? 6. In the next one again, 2 over 3 times 3, you get what? You get 2. See that? So here, as I told you, there it's like you're saying 3 into 9 is 3, so you've got 6. But look, x 1 plus 1 is 2, so x squared plus, you cancel the 3 into 3 is 1 times 2, it's 2x. See, then that becomes the answer. That's what you put there to say equal to 4x cubed plus 6x squared plus 2x. What is it called? Expansion. You are expanding. Simplify, and you are opening up that bracket. It means you have to open it up 3 times. Similarly, let's look at this one. It's negative 3x squared is multiplying what? X cubed plus 2x squared minus 4. So how many times must you do it? 3 times. The first one, the second one, and the third one. Focus on the signs. It's minus 3x squared dot x cubed. That was the first one. And then plus, always take out the positive when you go to the next arrow, but you maintain minus 3x squared dot positive what? It's 2x squared. It's only when you have to have a negative. Look at the next one. Plus, always take a positive for the next arrow. It's minus 3x squared. Look at this now. Dot. I don't have to say 4. Are you seeing 4 there? No, we are saying what? Dot negative 4. Very important, very important. Now, let's go on and simplify. You can use a calculator also. Minus 3 is the only thing there. If there is a 1, so minus 3 will remain as minus 3. But look, x squared, x cubed. You just write x, you add them. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now, very important. I say take a positive, but it will tell you what you get when you multiply minus 3 dot times 2. Calculator will help. You see, when you know later, you don't need a calculator. So it's negative 3 times 2. Oh, you're like, okay, I've got one negative and I'm multiplying, it gives me a negative. So one negative with a positive is a negative. You just say 3 times 2 is 6. Since there is one negative, it remains as a negative. So that positive is overpowered. It becomes simple negative 6. Let's go to the x, the variables. X squared, x. Now there are 2 there, 2 there. 2 plus 2 is 4. Again, you go to the next one. You're multiplying minus 3 and minus 4. How many negatives there? 2. Negative, negative. If you remember, it gives you, when you multiply them, a positive. So it's negative 3 times negative 4. It's a positive 12. See? 12. But you maintain then that positive 12. Now there is only x squared. Then it becomes the answer there. There it is. So it's negative 3x to the power of 5 minus 6x to the power of 4 plus 12x squared. I think that. Alright, now lastly, we think I have to end it up here so that our lesson doesn't become too long and you'll join me in the next lesson. So what is happening here? I'm just going to do it from here. Look at it. I think it's big enough just to save time. It's the whole thing outside multiplies and the whole thing outside multiplies. See? So now it will be negative 3 over 5 x cubed dot or times, I can just say times once. Let me just use a multiplication. Times what? 15x squared. See that? And then I said when you go to the next arrow, take out a positive. Just do that. Negative 3 over 5x cubed. And then it's a times negative 10x. You don't have to struggle. In the beginning, you will do this, but you'll start to see a pattern happening and it will be easier later to do that. So what do I advise? It's fine. Sometimes they say don't use a calculator. So this is what you'll be doing. The 5 at the bottom multiplies that 5, that 15 at the top, which is, we are saying, actually it's dividing. 15 divided by 5, you get a 3. See? And then you say 3 times minus 3, it will be minus 9. That's how the calculator will give you a minus 9. But let's use a calculator there and see whether it gives us that answer as minus 9. Let's do that. I say it is negative 3 over 5, right? And then you are multiplying by what? By 15. See? That's how it gets minus 9. What about on the next one? It will be minus, let me play back. It's minus 3 over 5 multiplied by what? Negative 10. See? It gave us a 6. So we want to see how it gave us a 6 there. So in here, the 5 into 10, how many times does 5 go into 10? It's 2. Are you seeing that? Now it's more like you're saying negative 3 times negative 2. Negative, negative, it's positive. 3 times 2, it's 6. See, you can do it without the calculator. But let's go to the variables. x3, x2. You just write your x, you add. Here there are 3, there are 2. So it's 5. Are you with me? But don't forget, in the next one, we said the negative there, and the negative gave us a positive 6. Then we go for the variables, x3 and x. If you don't see any power there, it's 1. So it's x to the power of what? 3 plus 1, it's 4. That becomes your final answer. Guys, don't go further. It's done. Don't be tempted to say, I want to edit, I want to do what, but that's the end. Alright. So what are we doing in the next lesson? This is the end. In the next lesson, I'm going to continue here. See, it's very important again. We're going to continue with this expansion, but there is something important here. Not only are you going to open the brackets, you will start to see things that are similar, which you can add together. That's where I want you to be careful now. You need to know this, and then we do the big one. This is the big one that is actually for this lesson, where we start using the expansion here of the binomials. So that's where now your grade 9 is starting. All along I was just laying foundation. Your grade 9 begins here. That's where they will ask you. You can get questions previously, 2 marks, 1 mark, but they want you to focus here. Then you start seeing some difference, but I have to lay that foundation. All right, we've come to the end of our lesson. Thank you.